All right, who's ready for another boatload of new releases? Gosh, I haven't done one of these videos in a while, but the fragrances are stacking, and I've got a huge list of fragrances for you to talk about today, just before Thanksgiving. Let me know if there's any fragrances that you're most excited about. Do add a comment below. I'd love to find out what you're thinking is going to be a great fragrance and what you're thinking is going to be a dud. Have you gotten actually a fragrance recently that you were anticipating, you heard about it, and you really ended up loving? Do let us know what it is. Do put a comment down below. Let's get started with the list. So we're talking about Les Eaux Primordiales. They have a new Supermassive fragrance. Remember, they started out with Vanille Supermassive, one of my favorites. In fact, it was included in a Scent Club kit in April, I think, of 2024. And now we've got the third one after Ambre Supermassive. Vanille Supermassive was an original fragrance. Ambre Supermassive was a Supermassive fragrance from their Ambre Super Fluide fragrance, and now we have Oud Supermassive. So it's a brand new fragrance, has not had a various or previous version of it. And also, this is the first time that Arnaud, the founder of the brand, is working with Julien Rasquinet. So this is a fragrance created by Julien Rasquinet along with Arnaud Paulin, founder of Les Eaux Primordiales. So Oud Supermassive is the latest release from the house, featuring notes of bergamot, cardamom, mandarin, osmanthus, passion fruit, peaches, frankincense, leather, oud, and tobacco. So I've actually smelled this. I enjoyed it, but the brand has actually something else coming out as well with the same perfumer that I actually really fell in love with. This one's good, but the other one I'm actually anticipating even further. But oud lovers should be happy with this one, especially people that enjoy the Les Eaux Primordiales DNA. But I'm looking forward to this. I love the purple colored bottle, but I'm also looking forward to the other. I believe the other one is a 10-year anniversary for the brand. So anticipating that one, looking forward to it. Let's move on to the next fragrance. It's XERJOFF's Torino 25. This is apparently the last Torino fragrance. Started out in Torino 21. We've had 22, 23, 24, and this is the last one. This is the darkest and the most intense. If you're familiar with the original, the Torino 21, it's the freshest. This is actually like the complete opposite. It's like leathery, ambery, intense. It features rhubarb, grapefruit, saffron, ginger, juniper, suede, leather, musk, vetiver, and amber. So it's quite complex, super intense, and definitely the one that is the deepest and the darkest in the collection. So that's launching very soon as well. And again, this I believe is the very last Torino fragrance that XERJOFF will do. I actually got to sample this during TFWA, just like I sampled the previous one. But there's a new fragrance from Born to Stand Out called No Labels, created by Alexander Lee. I believe this is part of the intimate collection of fragrances in the clear bottles. This is cardamom, leather, rum, jasmine, lily of the valley, milk, saffron, leather, tonka, white musk. So those are like intimate, musky fragrances, and looking forward to it. I still need to get my nose on the Choco Loco again. That was actually, I sampled it during the Notes Shanghai event and really enjoyed it. I got to come back to it because it was quite creamy and velvety smooth. And chocolate fragrances started out to be very challenging for me. I kind of got off to a really bad start with Chocolate Greedy from Montal. Really kind of a weird smell, actually. But I've grown to enjoy chocolate fragrances, and since sampling the Choco Loco from Born to Stand Out, I really want to start wearing it. So let's move on to the next fragrance. It's a house I don't speak too much about, but recently I bought their original Clean Reserve, and now they have an intense. It's weird that I just got into that fragrance, really loved its muskiness and skin scent qualities, and now they have an intense version of it. So it's created by Clement Gevarry. Bergamot, caramel, fleur de sel, bourbon, vanilla, jasmine, lily of the valley, musk, sandalwood, tonka beans. I actually really love the original, and I'm a latecomer to this line of fragrances, but I really fell in love with the Clean Reserve, the original. Now I'm looking forward to checking out what the Intense is all about. If you have gotten your nose on the Intense, Let me know, add a comment below. If you've gotten your nose on any of these fragrances, add a comment. And also, going back to the original Clean Reserve, are you a fan of the line and that original fragrance? Let us know, add a comment below. All right, MANOS GERAKINIS has a brand new fragrance created by Sofia Bardelli, and it seems like it's another gourmand. He's known for the Immortelle fragrance and the fig one. The fig one is a gourmand fig created by Chris Maurice, super delicious. We featured it in our Scent Club kit, one of our Scent Club kits. It's Methexis, that's the one I'm talking about. Really, really awesome scent from MANOS GERAKINIS. So I enjoy Immortelle and Methexis, and this is another gourmand created by Sofia Bardelli. So Sofia Bardelli has done fragrances for Electimus London, and this one features notes of almonds, dates, salted caramel, sugar, blossom, frankincense, hazelnuts, toffee, amber, musk, sandalwood, and vanilla. Who's a fan of the brand? They're not very distributed. I think the only store that sells the fragrances of MANOS GERAKINIS in the States is Perfumology in Philadelphia. So I'm actually quite curious to get my nose on this. It seems like it's going to be a nutty gourmand. If you've gotten your nose on it, let us know. It sounds quite delicious, by the way. So next is Hermes. It's Oud Esma. It's created by Christine Nagel. It's oud resins, woody notes, balsamic notes. The visual I saw of this was the small bottle, and those small bottles seem to be extracts or like pure perfume fragrances. So I don't have too much info on Oud Esma. They just launched an oud in this series of fragrances. So do they have another oud coming out? So yeah, the bottle looked different, but I'm quite curious what the differences are, and it sounds interesting and curious to get my nose on it. But Francesca Bianchi also has a new fragrance. It's Once Upon a Time, and this seems like it's a gourmand, judging by the notes. Cotton candy, dragée, which is candied almonds, caramelized hazelnuts, castoreum, vanilla, musk, mandarin zest, pink pepper. So does it have the Francesca Bianchi DNA? Because the castoreum and vanilla sounds like it does. So let's see what it's all about. But it sounds quite gourmand to me. The cotton candy, the dragée, the candied almonds, the caramelized hazelnuts. Quite yummy sounding. So we've got two fragrances from the House of Ormond Jane. First of which is called Oud Liaison. It's featuring notes of licorice, lemons, pink pepper, rose, gaiac wood, oud, suede, cypriol, musk, patchouli, and vanilla. The licorice is a note that doesn't come up that often. I quite like licorice in fragrances. But it seems like they come and go, the licorice note. It doesn't stick around. And like there's not... I can't name a fragrance that's existing with licorice as a note. Like it's not like very popular. So a lot of licorice themed fragrances do get discontinued. But I really enjoy them in fragrances. Let me know if you do as well. And if you have a favorite that's still on the market. All right, next up, we've got another fragrance from Ormond Jane. It's called Bijou Saffron. So this one features notes of pears, saffron, benzoin, cypriol, iris, amber, leather, musk, and patchouli. I'm curious to get my nose on these two fragrances. The previous one sounds a bit more interesting and exciting since it has the licorice note. And I'm definitely interested in checking out. My favorite fragrances from the house happen to be Vanille des Afriques Intensivo, and Avernia is another favorite, and also Tolu. So those are the ones that come to my head off the top of my head. So there might be a few others that I really enjoy. But what are your favorite fragrances from Ormond Jane? But let's move on to the next fragrance, which is from the brand Reinvented, and they're currently in our most recent Scent Club kit. Reinvented is the one on the right with the red cap. So that's Ethereal Soul currently in our Scent Club kit, and it's also created by the same perfumer that's created the new Reinvented fragrance called Enigmatic Aura, and it's Özge Erdogmes. I think that's how you say the name. It's a Turkish name, but Enigmatic Aura features notes of saffron, nagarmotha, spikenard, vanilla, amber, cashmere wood, and musk. I really enjoy the Ethereal Soul. Do you guys enjoy that one as well? Have you gotten your latest Scent Club kit with the Ethereal Soul fragrance from Reinvented in it? Let me know. Add a comment below. But definitely going to check out Enigmatic Aura as soon as I can. But the next fragrance is from the house of L'Artisan Parfumeur. It's called La Cérémonie de Encens. So the incense ceremony, I guess is what it translates to. It's created by Mathilde Bijou, featuring notes of frankincense, hinoki, cedarwood, Malabar pepper. So it's spicy, smoky, woody, dark, aromatic. So these are the themes that come to mind when I'm looking at the notes for this fragrance. So not much sweetness. It seems like also not much warmth in it as well. So we'll see what it's all about. But I'm seeing Mathilde Bijou fragrances quite frequently lately. I think she's a perfumer over at Man. Is it Man or Simrise? The next fragrance is from the house of Profumum Roma. It's called Auriga, and it features notes of saffron, labdanum, patchouli, vanilla, bergamot, and sandalwood. The one I want to get from this house is Arso. I think it's time for me to have that fragrance. And then the latest fragrance before this Auriga, people were telling me was really, really great as well, and I forget the name of it. What's the latest fragrance that Profumum Roma launched? Not the one I'm speaking about today. Let me know. Is it a great one? I think it's a Gourmands, somebody told me. But like I said, I've been wanting Arso ever since I smelled it like 13 years ago in actually San Sebastian at a perfume shop. When I was there, I got to sample it for the first time. I really liked it, but I felt, oh my God, this is way too dark and smoky. But for some reason, I'm kind of craving Arso now. If you're a fan of Arso, let me know. If you've gotten your nose on Auriga, also let me know. Add a comment below. All right, we've got a new fragrance from the house of Ramon Monagal, and it's basically called Monagal. Clever name, right? So, of course, Ramon Monagal fragrances are all created by Ramon Monagal, the perfumer, the man behind the brand. It's coconut, figs, red fruits, osmanthus, oud, sandalwood, musk, sugar, and vanilla. So it's an oudi gourmand, it seems like. You know, the brand doesn't have very good distribution in the States anymore. What's going on with the brand? What's the most exciting fragrance from the house of Ramon Monagal? Do let me know. Add a comment below. Next, the 14th fragrance I'm talking about today is of THOO, formerly the House of Oud. I believe this is a exclusive fragrance for Zor, the perfume shop in Milan, which also has a store in Florence, I believe. It's Eclipse D'Or. Bergamot, mandarin, pears, jasmine, orange blossom, iris, blonde woods, oud amber, animalic notes, cypriol, and patchouli. Who's a fan of this house? Let me know. What are your favorite fragrances from Tu or the House of Oud? Add a comment below. So we've got a series of 4 fragrances from KLE. These are musk-focused fragrances, it seems like, all from Manish perfumers. We've got Musk Santal 34, created by Hamid Merati-Kashani. It's bergamot, mandarin, pink pepper, freesia, lavender, lily, sandalwood, amber, musk, praline, tonka beans, vanilla, and vetiver. Even though it's musk-focused, it seems like it's going into a gourmand direction. I'm curious to get my nose on the fragrances. I really like KLE's musk. That's one of my favorite fragrances from the house. And there's a few others that I like, but the musk and the sandalwood fragrances are two or three of my favorite fragrances from the house. They have 2 sandalwood, the wedding collection, and then of course the musk. Powdery, musky, but it's clean and woody. I love that one. So let's see what the musk collection's all about. Even though this says Musk Santal 34, it seems like it's leaning into the gourmand direction. All right, then we've got Musk Bouquet 27, a fragrance created by Nathalie Lorsan. These are all from Manish perfumers. It seems like KLE works with Manish as a fragrance house, so they use all the perfumers there and their own ingredients. So this is Musk Bouquet 27, created by Nathalie Lorsan. It's jasmine, pink pepper, ylang-ylang, rose, musk, vanilla, pralines, sandalwood, tonka beans, vanilla, vetiver. So yeah, KLE always throws in gourmand notes. So this is a floral gourmand, it seems, with musk. I'm curious to get my nose on it. As I said, the musk is one of my favorite fragrances from KLE. The original musk, not one of the 4 that I'm talking about today. So I'm curious to see what they're doing with the musks now. But KLE's Musk Matcha 45, created by Alexis Grosjean. Alexis Grosjean is a perfumer at Firmenich, but I think he just started working at Givaudan. I believe I saw him at Givaudan in Paris. I guess he's left Firmenich. But it's matcha, bergamot, green apple, mate, coffee, oat milk, praline, vanilla, amber, musk, patchouli, sandalwood, tonka beans, vanilla, and vetiver. Lots of repeating notes here because of the top and the heart and the base notes. So this one seems to be super gourmand. I'm curious to get my nose on it. Matcha, do you enjoy matcha fragrances? Mate or matcha fragrances? Let me know. Add a comment below. And the last fragrance I'm talking about until we get to the bonus section is KLE's Musk Latte 41, created by Florian Gallo. By the way, I got a fragrance from his own brand while I was in Paris recently. It's this one right here. It's called Bontemps Paris. And it's Le Grand Saut. Really great fragrance. Really love this fragrance, actually. I fell in love with it. I was at Printemps store on the first floor in Paris, and it was only 3 fragrances, so I had to buy it. It was really great. It was like a woody gourmand. So I'll talk about it later. But this one is called Musk Latte 41. Bergamot, cinnamon, mandarin, pink pepper, cypriol, lavender, milk, coffee, rose, cedar, chocolate, musk, pralines, sandalwood, tonka beans, vanilla. Yeah, KLE does lots of gourmands. This is a very gourmand focused brand, and also gourmand focused collection of musk fragrances. But yeah, I'm curious to get my nose on these 4 fragrances. I love musky fragrances. And as I said, I love KLE's musk as one of my favorite fragrances from the house. Absolutely love that. So let's see what they've done with these 4 new musk fragrances. If you've gotten your nose on any of the fragrances that I've spoken about today, do let us know. Add a comment below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to stick around for the bonus fragrances. We've got a lot of fragrances in the bonus section as well. All grouped by different brands and each launching 3, 4, 5 fragrances. So stick around for those fragrances as well. But let me know if you have any questions on any of the fragrances I discussed today. Add a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and also give a thumbs up for this video. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. All right, now that we're in the bonus section, I've got 3 different collections of fragrances. One from Jovan, one from Brioni, one from Headspace. So Jovan is launching some, musky fragrances in their typical cheapy style, but Brioni, as a men's collection of fragrances, is launching Extrait de Parfums, and also Headspace is also launching their own Extrait de Parfum fragrances. And stay tuned, very soon I'll do a video on Headspace fragrances, which these 2 are Headspace fragrances right here. I've been testing out their fragrances. These 2 are created by Julien Rasquinet. This is Myrrh and also Kirsch. Wait, I don't think Kirsch is Julien Rasquinet. I'll take that back. Myrrh is for sure Julien Rasquinet. But I'll be talking about 4 or 5 different Headspace fragrances in their original form. But in this section of the video, I'm talking about 5 new Headspace Extrait de Parfums that are all created by Julien Rasquinet. But let's go and talk about Jovan's 3 fragrances first. So I looked these fragrances up. They are currently selling at Amazon Italy, but as I switched it over to the USA, I don't see them selling here in the States, unfortunately. But I'm curious. I want to get these fragrances. Most likely they're going to be very inexpensive. The first one is called Amber Delight. Features notes of mint, cardamom, patchouli, tonka beans, pink pepper, rose, mandarin, orange. Who's a fan of Jovan's cheapy fragrances? Do you like their musky fragrances? Add a comment below. The second one's called Vanilla Haven. Jovan Vanilla Haven. And this one features notes of pear, black currant, orange blossom, vanilla, musk, panna cotta. This is seeming like it's a gourmand, but it's musky. I thought the entire collection was musky, but not all of them mention musk. It's just 3 fragrances. So I don't know what the purpose of this collection is. We shall see. Recently, they launched those skin scents that are layering fragrances. I did a video on them as well if you haven't caught those videos. But I want to circle back to these and do a video on these 3 fragrances as well. Most likely, these will be anywhere between $20 to $40 for the fragrances. And I believe from what I saw on the Amazon Italy store, they do have a 50 ml and 100 ml of these bottles. And so we'll see. I'll report on them as soon as I can, as soon as I get my hands on them. But Jovan's Wood Harmony is the 3rd fragrance. Seems like the most masculine. Has cardamom, lemons, carrots, cedarwood, sandalwood, and vetiver. So I don't know what the collection is called, sadly. But if you've gotten your nose on these 3 fragrances, let us know. Are you a fan of Jovan fragrances? What do you like about them? They're pretty inexpensive. Some of them are probably a bit too tired for modern noses. But I appreciate these fragrances for sure, and I'm definitely interested in discovering these 3 new fragrances from Jovan and see what they are like. I think the last time I really enjoyed Jovan fragrances was when they launched 4 Middle Eastern themed fragrances. They had the amber, the oud, the rose. Maybe it was 3. I can't remember a 4th one. Did they have a musk in that series as well? I think I have the oud and the amber. I might have the rose as well, but I'm not 100% sure. I bought those a while ago, maybe like 13 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. And they were fairly inexpensive, like $10, $15. And the bottles were like 80 milliliters, I believe, or 70 to 80 milliliters. But very inexpensive and pretty quality offerings for Jovan fragrances. So let's see what Amber Delight, Vanilla Haven, and Wood Harmony are all about. But let's move on to Brioni. So Brioni has 4 new fragrances that are Extrait de Parfum collection of fragrances. So Extrait de Parfum meaning super concentrated, very intense. And so now that they've launched 6 different men's fragrances since like 2020, although I believe it was supposed to launch in 2020, it launched in 2021 because the pandemic caused delays. Brioni Eau de Parfum was the first one. Then they did Brioni Eau de Parfum Intense. There was Éclat. There was 2 or 3 others that I'm forgetting. But now we've got the collection of extracts. The first one is Iris or Eerie Exquis, created by Michel Almerac, Karine Vinchon-Spehner. So duo of perfumers. The 2 of them created the Brioni Eau de Parfum Intense, but Michel Almerac created all of the other Brioni EDP fragrances. But this one is a co-creation between him and Karine Vinchon-Spehner. They are both at Robertet. So we've got black pepper, vervain, violet leaves, carrot seeds, lavender, orris root, black tea, mate, patchouli, and suede. And in case you don't know what vervain is, it's verbena basically. I'm not sure if this one sounds interesting. It doesn't sound so exciting. I'm curious. I love iris in fragrances, but from the notes breakdown, it doesn't seem to be jumping out at me, screaming, wear me kind of a thing. But I'm curious to get my nose on them. I think the Brioni collection of men's fragrances are super solid. Some of the best men's collection of fragrances. Let me know if you guys agree. Let me know if you've got your nose on these new extracts from Brioni. Add a comment below. So then we've got Papyrus Eternel. So this is a perfume created by Alexis Dadier. I believe he is also with Robertet. Papyrus is this very earthy, woody note that kind of screams vetiver / patchouli, and it has a very distinct smell. It's kind of related to cypriol, so if you like that smell, you're gonna probably like this. This is featuring notes of bergamot, cardamom, black tea, mate, papyrus, smoked tea, amber, Haitian, and Java vetiver. Screaming super masculine, super woody with the tea notes, which might be a bit of a balance with all the fact that it's quite woody, but there's amber and woods in here as well, some spices and fresh notes. Curious to see what they've done with Papyrus Eternel. So those 2 fragrances, the first 2 are Robertet perfumers. The next 2, there's 4 total, are Gévaudan perfumers. So we've got Encens Mineral, created by Nisrine Boiseau, I think Grillet. I think that's how you say the name. Nisrine, I think it's a woman's name. Nisrine Boiseau Grillet. Sorry, I'm butchering the name. This one features notes of bergamot, pink and black pepper, cedar, frankincense, lily of the valley, mystical, vetiver, and white musk. I love that ingredient, mystical. It's a very interesting name for a proprietary ingredient for Gévaudan. I'm not sure about this fragrance. Actually, the entire collection sounds a bit not connected to the original EDP fragrances. So I always mention this in videos. Sometimes fragrances don't sound great, but when I smell them, they smell really amazing. But sometimes when I smell fragrances that sound really great, turn out to be duds. So I have a feeling I might like these fragrances more after smelling them rather than from reading the ingredients that are listed in them. The only one that really sounds great from this new Brioni Extrait de Parfum collection is Labdanum Brut, which also has a great name, by the way. Love the name here. This is created by Mylene Alran, another Gévaudan perfumer. So we've got bergamot, cardamom, pink pepper, Bulgarian rose, patchouli, rosemary, cistus, vanillin, vetiver, and white musk. This is the one that sounds the best to me out of the entire collection of 4 new extracts from Brioni. So as soon as I can get my hands on these, I will report on them, guys. I will let you know all about them. I really love the Brioni collection of men's fragrances. Classy, masculine, and definitely deserving of, somebody that's very gentlemanly, that wants to wear fragrances to smell great, but not smell like every other men's designer fragrance. Let me know if you're a fan of Brioni. Let me know if you've gotten your nose on these Extrait de Parfum fragrances. Do add a comment below. Let's move on to the next collection of fragrances. Now, we've got 5 new fragrances from Headspace, and they are Extrait de Parfum fragrances. As I was saying, these are the original EDP Headspace bottles. And stay tuned very soon for a video on the line. I've got 4 or 5 fragrances that I'm going to talk to you about, 2 of which are from Julien Rasquinet. Myrrh is a Julien Rasquinet creation, and also the one I'll be talking about that he created is Santal, which is a great sandalwood. It's a champagne-y sandalwood. So he's created 5 new extracts for Headspace. And Headspace, you know, I like the brand. I discovered them at Essence in 2022, right after the pandemic. But they haven't really gotten themselves out. I believe Neiman Marcus sells them, and I think Lucky Scent sells them as well. And so hopefully you guys will be able to discover the brand. There's some great ones, like the sandalwood is really, really great. One of the ones I like is the Genevieve. It's the Juniper one. Oh my God, it's such a great scent from the house. Not the Julien Rasquinet. The myrrh is also really, really great. The sandalwood is great. The myrrh is great. The myrrh is very warm, spicy with cinnamon. But the 5 new extracts are sounding really, really great, especially since they are Julien Rasquinet creations. And of course, I worked on him on this fragrance, 54. So I'm curious to see what he's done with these new extracts at Headspace. So the first one is called Acacia. Acacia is related to the mimosa flower. So we've got rum, davana, plums, tonka beans, mimosa, vanilla, papanak, sandalwood. This stuff sounds so, so delicious. It sounds really, really great. The only thing I'm concerned about, does it sound a bit like Orchid Leather from Van Cleef & Arpels, which has a boozy note, vanilla and plums in it? I don't know. That one goes leathery and ambery with vanilla, plums, and fruitiness and booziness. So let's see. Hopefully it's not similar. But for me, this one and the last one I'm going to talk to you about are the ones that sound the best to me. So we'll find out what it's all about once we get our noses on them. Then we've got Champaca Extrait. Champaca is related to the magnolia flower. So this one has notes of Alfonso mangoes, peaches, pink pepper, geranium, jasmine, tuberose, cypress, heliotrope, and musk. Not so exciting, but again, the ones that don't sound the exciting ones are the ones that usually end up being or smelling great. So we shall see what this one's all about. But the next one, the Oud Extrait, sounds really, really great. Lemons, pears, pineapple, geranium, orange blossom, peony, leather, oud, and patchouli. Pineapple and pears in an oud fragrance with orange blossom? What do you guys think? Again, if you guys have gotten your nose on these fragrances, let us know. I'm really curious to get my nose on all of these fragrances that I'm talking about. And again, some sound great, they turn out to be duds. Some don't sound great, they turn out to be really winners. So we shall see all about them once I can get my nose on them. The second to the last one is Saffron Extrait de Parfum, once again created by Julien Rasquinet, and the saffron features cardamom, galbanum, lapsang souchong tea, pepper, frankincense, mate, orris, saffron, leather, osmanthus, and patchouli. Not so exciting with this one either. I think the ones that are most exciting, Acacia, Oud, and the next one, the Tabac. Big fan of tobacco. This one sounds so good. It has aniseed. Tabac Extrait features aniseed, vanilla, ginger, spices, coffee, hay, tonka, ambrox, and tobacco. That one sounds so good. Can't wait to get my nose on these fragrances. Let me know if you're a fan of Headspace fragrances. What are your favorites so far? If you haven't gotten your nose on the extracts and you've been a fan of the line. And as I said, stay tuned for a video on Headspace fragrances. Their bottles are cool, aren't they? Simplistic, minimalistic, but really nice. But yeah, the video will launch soon, and I'm looking forward to getting my nose on these extracts. Thanks so much for sticking around for all the bonus fragrances, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.